Welcome to the Showboys podcast. I'm Pixel Nick, and join me tonight for the finale of season 3 of House of the Dragon, Chadwick III. And we are here to talk about Treasons at Tumbleton. Season 3 is a wrap. We got 2 years before season 4. So much has happened in one hour and 10-minute-ish episode, which is nice. But before we start, Chad, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be here. How are you?
Good. Did you watch the episode twice?
I did not. I did not.
Boo. Okay, it's fine. I did.
Did you? Yeah.
And you got to crack one here for my boy Roddy the Ruin.
Yeah,
He is coming in. He's ready. He's been waiting all season for this.
He's a log, yeah.
Actually, maybe the end of last season. Is that when they introduced him then? Because he was aligning with Damon and all that jazz. So he's been waiting for this moment to shine. Flex on some high towers.
Yeah. He pays for it as well. But yeah, it's dude, what an episode, man. Like I like they're back, bro. They're back. Like this season is such a redeeming season from last season. Not to say that I think we liked last season.
Yeah.
As a whole, it just lacked in a lot of big spots you expect from a show in this universe. Totally redeemed. Like I don't even at this point I don't even care that the first 2 episodes were the 2 episodes from last season.
Oh,
like
for sure.
This is like a top tier season in the Game of Thrones universe.
I mean, this season's like a nice ice cream sandwich because we got like the penultimate and finale to kick it off.
Yeah,
and we got a proper finale here at the end.
Yep.
And I really feel like they crunched it all into the finale, which is great. And I saw like a chart of all of the series, the House of the Dragon episodes, their ratings, right? Season 1, for 10 episodes, like has all very strong ratings, like through that whole season. And I do remember that's a very nice season end to end. And season 2 has like the 3 weakest, like right in a row in the middle. This one has like 2 weak ones in the middle, but like some stronger ones overall. So yeah, it definitely comes in at least second place in the series, if not like in terms of ramping up. The whole point of why we're here is to see all of this just kind of unravel. And I have to be extra careful on X because I'm getting in the right like circles of people talking about this show, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I like to start right off the rip with like book spoilers and like what has and hasn't happened. I'm sure Facebook's full of that too, and it's tricky, and I just know kind of when to stop reading. But I also am pretty good at forgetting things when I like read them. I kind of do just purposely forget them. Like I don't remember.
Well, I mean, if you remember, which I don't remember even what he says, but Joffrey tells the entire story of House of the Dragon in Game of Thrones and who dies and how they die and all that stuff. But thankfully, like you, I forgot it.
Just dissipates. Just goes away. And I don't know. I mean, this is one of those moments where I'm like, I really am happy that I haven't read the book and I don't know what's going on. Because one, I really have this big anticipation of, what the Battle of God's Eye has entail for us. And it's like little, how this is actually going to unfold is really exciting. But then also on the other side of it too is they have made significant changes from the book for the sake of the show. Probably in hindsight, if I were to guess, if once this is all said and done, we'd probably be able to look back on it and say that they dragged out probably season 1 and all that setup and like really cut a lot of things in this tranche of the story out. Because someone had a really good post about Roddy the Ruin, and like they could have like a little mini series on just their little gang of Northmen because they were apparently absolutely just savages in the books. They were like basically they're old before winter came. They were just getting rid of them, and they were all but gonna die anyway. So to feed their villages and stuff, like these were the old men that they sent out basically on a death run, a suicide run for this cause. And they were just absolutely savages on their whole like war path.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They're very Viking-esque.
Yeah.
Like, they're the most Viking-esque that we've ever seen in Game of Thrones. We had, like, maybe some inspirations for
Right.
different houses, and Wildlings, you could kinda argue, was a little inspiration for the Vikings. Ironborn would be, like,
Yeah,
another
true.
kind of half of, they still had the long ships and that kinda stuff, but yeah, they feel like the most Viking, and he's awesome, dude. Like, I'm bummed what happens to him because he's just a great character. But I mean, it's cool because we get a couple characters and they just have perfect arcs in this
Yep.
season. Like, this is exactly. And I wasn't totally sold on your Ormond. You wanted it to be to end here
Yeah.
in season 3. I wasn't sold on it, but now that it's here and it's arrived, I'm all right with it. Like, it's a good little arc that he had, you know?
Yeah, and I think it comes down to how they're going to play the story. And I mean, I think it works really well to have Ormond appear in this season, hit his notes, and go out that way. Especially, I also just love like we get a little bit. Game of Thrones became very predictable in terms of like who was going to fight who, right? Like the big like duels. This I
Mhm.
still like because it's like Damon goes in there looking for Ormond, but ultimately he doesn't fight Ormond. He fights Ormond's like second in command, which is a really that dude's like the mountain
Yeah, dude.
in this series.
Yep.
And then ultimately Rye the Ruin gets to fight Ormond. So just a lot of cool pairings there, and yeah, those two just go out in a blaze, and this is great.
Yeah. That actually stuck out to me as well in this episode because it's almost like a cliche that the two people come in that you think are gonna fight, and there's all this chaos going on, and then they lock eyes on the battlefield and walk towards each other, and that doesn't happen here, and sometimes that's very effective, like in here, it's very effective to switch it up and kinda change who you think is gonna
Hmm.
fight in this battle. A less effective form of it is Arya killing the Night King. Like, that was, like, just like a
Yeah.
why, like, that didn't have a good effect, I didn't think.
Quick
Um
sidebar: I did see that Allie Black um, is the like great grandmother of Arya.
Oh, interesting,
I did see that somewhere, which I totally buy
interesting.
because Arya basically became her great grandmother here of just like the
Yeah,
arrow shooting like assassin
yeah,
out there. So I was like, oh, I mean
interesting.
that would make sense.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's the stuff that I like, but they're not even, like, throwing it in your face, like, they made no mention of that whatsoever, right?
Right.
You just found that online? Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I like. I also really like, God, what's her name? Alice
Alice
Rivers?
Rivers,
Alice Rivers.
because she's of the
H
Riverlands and of
Yeah,
Meereen. Yep.
but she was originally married to Heron of Harrenhal, was the original wife before Aegon came over, so that makes her hundreds of years old.
Yes.
So she is like straight, you know, Red Woman from Game of Thrones level witch.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's really cool because I'm curious um, if we will see her in the Aegon the Conqueror movie that they're making
Oh, good.
because
Good. Yeah.
I mean it's common sense to put her in there. I would
Cameo.
think a little cameo action at Harrenhal when he arrives at Harrenhal. So
Right.
yeah, just a lot of good stuff in this episode, dude. I was just basically smiling ear to ear during the entire thing. Like, it's just a great episode.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely really good. Good length too. I always appreciate when the finales like tip the minutes
Mhm.
in your favor. And obviously the like for me, highs and lows, right? If I were to pick two highs, two lows, Damon, naturally a very high here. Damon, Roddy,
Mhm.
that whole group, it's in the thumbnail here, like that whole besieging group, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Other hyper high note, and we talked about this and felt this coming off of the last couple episodes, but Aegon, like, is I think absolutely probably the best acted and like top tier like Jamie style character arc flip. And I think I don't know, something about like Game of Thrones, and it's just the way it's written because it's just like to me it's just like written it's the unpredictability of it where it's like not your standard like story where people have these redeeming arcs and different things like that. But what it is so good at is taking this character that you hate or love at the beginning, and by the end, it flips. So like in this one, I hated Aegon. I love Aegon, partially in part
Yeah.
because of the actor that goes a long way, but also the character, like where it doesn't make him a good guy, but it just makes like I'm kind of like wanting to root for like Aegon and Aemon by the end of this episode. And Rhaenyra is kind of like the low point of this episode for me because she just kind of turned down like just a shitty version of what Damon wants her to do. She just picks like the most shittiest version of that and rolls with it. So yeah, I think Rhaenyra took like a real like low point out of this episode. Aegon has like risen to like one of the highlights. Damon still claims that top piece. Corlys, for his little like action and like interaction he has going on for him, has a really his demeanor, his character is just so well done. I love Corlys
Yeah.
throughout this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a kind of like a Ned Stark scene there where they're
Yeah,
trying to get him to turn, and he's like, I'm not selling my honor. You know,
so
that
good.
he's even sitting in the same position that Ned Stark is sitting in season 1 when he's giving that exact speech in the
He's lost a
dungeon.
finger,
So
not a head. So
yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, I would agree with the high points. Aegon is definitely ramped up there. I definitely hated Aegon a vast majority of the time. And dude, to be honest with you, after this episode, and I said I think last season, like I would never root for the Greens. You know what I mean? Like they're dogs, like compared to but the Blacks kind of shot themselves in the foot here in this they just make
multiple
weird
ways.
decisions this entire season. Yeah.
It's
So
not,
it's
but that's
tough
the
to
thing.
root for him right now.
It's not the blacks though. It's like just Rhaenyra. Like she's just like a very
Mm,
shitty like leader of the blacks. The same now, and this is now where I will challenge the notion of the greens. Like Alicent and like the High Towers are kind of like the shitty part of the greens. When
right.
really at this point, Aegon and Aemon just kind of deciding that they're going to pick up their bootstraps and go burn some shit down. I'm kind of rooting for them, like the brother duo, the reunited, like fallen brother duo. Like we talk about the fallen prince, like character dynamic. Like
Yeah.
this is like the fallen prince's brotherly revenge. Like I guess something so awesome about how that was. Because even his speech where he's like, after all these things happen, then I might forgive you for
Yeah.
trying to kill me. I'm alive. Like it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's very good.
So good.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I think that I'm really excited to see what path they take moving forward together. That's a dynamic duo that we have if they're on the same side. You know, we've got the biggest dragon, we've got Aegon who's out for revenge. Yeah, well acted. I think honestly there was a scene in here. I think towards the beginning where Rhaenyra is like crying/screaming, where I was just like, dude, she's a phenomenal actress. Like she has
Yes.
been great. Um, which makes me happy because you remember I was not sold on her in the beginning. The
Right.
actress change because I really liked the younger one. But that's all gone now. I think she's phenomenal. I think the big twist that kind of threw me through a loop. We saw Ulf
So
turning,
good.
right? And we
Yeah.
assumed that he was just going to turn and be done, but he flips on both of them, which I think is just phenomenal. Like I didn't see that coming. I don't know how I didn't see it coming now looking back on it. Like, clearly this dude is just going to do his own thing. He's got his own dragon, right? So,
I was
but
not
it did that.
surprised by it. I was not surprised by it after Ormond like kicked him and beat him in the street, just like Damon did. So like after that, like I didn't see it coming, but I was not surprised. I was like, oh yes, this is excellent. Like
yeah.
All of you should do this.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, dude, just great action sequences. I think Caraxes is awesome in this episode, like him busting through the gate. That was an awesome shot. Yeah, there's so much, man. There's so much good in this episode. And I was just so happy because I had very big concerns that we were not going to get an episode like this because of this.
Yeah, and it was well compacted too in terms of like, I mean, for what people may feel about what they have and have not done from the book material and the characters, they definitely took, and they said this in one of the like after episode like makings, is like they've really felt like they've figured out their show by this season. So they did a good job taking the characters they wanted to focus on and like stringing them together into this finale, which I really appreciate because I don't know, they didn't really leave any loose ends or like us wondering about any characters. Like, what about them? What about that? Like, we still don't know who Vhagar is, but that's okay. We kind of understand where Aemond is headed. Different things like that. So I think it was a well pulled together finale for this season, and they really kind of stuck to the right beats without like drowning it out. And I think that's why they make the certain book changes they do, because ultimately they need to like funnel this somewhere like definitive versus just like a history book where it ends.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. At some point in my life, I'll probably read a book before I watch the movie and or show. But I just feel like, to be honest with you, this is the right way to do it. Like, obviously, if you have already read the book, there's nothing you can do about it. But
yeah,
it in my mind, at least, it's better to watch the movie and or show. That way you're not disappointed through the entire thing as they're changing stuff in the books. Then you can go back and read the books for more context if you want more context, or to see what they changed. And
yeah. And I mean, Dune's a different like beast of an IP, and it's completely I mean, it's a little different, but I'm reading Dune, and the first book covers the first two movies, and there is not a page where I regret watching the movies first and
really
not knowing anything about it, because the way the book is written, like it's just kind of like a different telling. Like the things that are different are like new and intriguing and cool to read about versus like what I know in love with the movie. So
yeah,
I feel like, I don't know, I like that approach where it's like watch the movie, then or show, and then go read the book. Like I kind of want to read the book now, Dance of Dragons, like Fire and Blood.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
To see
I definitely do. I mean,
so.
I really want to read the Game of Thrones books. They're just such an undertaking, dude. Like,
yeah,
they're such an undertaking.
At least you won't have to be like the OG book readers of Game of Thrones, where they had to have like a notebook along the way.
Yeah.
Because at this point, having seen the show three plus times and us talking about it so much, I think we could read the books and just be like, it all just stayed.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And the other concern that I have, obviously, is that I genuinely believe that these books will never be finished. I think there's a good chance that what is it? Winds of Winter, I think, is the one that he's working on right now. There's a chance that one doesn't even come out. So it's like I'm kind of wishy-washy on if I want to start him, because that's like one of my favorite shows of all time is Jericho. I don't know if you ever watched Jericho, but
I've heard of it.
It got canceled after the first season, and the community like revolted. And so there's a scene in the show where they're talking about peanuts, and it's like a scene between the father and the son of the show. So everybody sent like nuts to the studio to try to get them to pick it back up, and they actually did, and they picked it back up for a second season. But even then it still ends abruptly because they cancel it again. So I just don't want to run into that again where I'm like getting invested in these books and then now it's just over. He's long dead and he's not going to finish the books,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky way to go. I think for Game of Thrones, it might just be a situation where I like the shows so much. Like I have enough enjoyment out of that. No need to like overdo it with the books. Sorry to all the book readers, but we're here to watch the shows on this one.
Yeah.
3 out of 3 at this point. I mean, I know House of the Dragon gets beat up a little bit, but it is what it is. You stick
Yeah,
to
I
the
mean,
show.
I would like to go back and once we're done, season 4's in the wraps and just see what they
Yeah.
change. I'm trying to avoid it at all costs now. The only thing that I'm really doing in any capacity with the book is like I check to see if Cole died like that in the books. I check to
Right.
see if Helena died like this in the books. And both did die the way that they do on screen. So I am curious of what they have changed, but I'm not curious enough to seek it out just yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm scared I'm going to read something,
Yeah, people do feel that Harrenhal is this like plot device to like hold up characters, and I think there's different like sequence of events.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think
interesting,
I don't think Aemon even goes to Harrenhal in the books, but I could be wrong.
right? Um, I did see a thing about Ulf where I mean, this would be interesting how much they lean into like these different characters because like Ulf after this in the books gets really bold and like really full of himself and like he starts saying like he demands High Garden for like his I don't know to who he's claiming High Garden for maybe Aegon, who knows, but um all kinds of
I
stuff
mean,
like
that's not
that.
shocking. Yeah, that's not shocking. I could definitely see him going in that. He's already kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and talk about like character flips too. Ulf like somehow like rises from like his shittiness into like something of like a redeemable, not redeemable in a good person sense, but in the sense of like a character, right? That you can flip on, right? Whereas like you can hate
Yeah.
Ulf at the beginning, but right there in that single moment, like I really hated like him just burning the black troops out
Yeah.
there, but then flipping onto the greens at the same time, like
Yeah.
redeeming moment. Meanwhile,
Yep.
Hugh has proven to be the most useless
Oh,
and
dude, totally.
wasted.
Yeah. Yeah, totally wasted, dude. Such a cool character. Such a cool
Oh,
look for a character as well. Like
so
he looks
shitty.
awesome.
Wife dies
So
in the
shitty.
end, all for nothing. Like he's just
Yeah.
weeping over that.
But,
Rhaenyra gets beaten by her in the street. Like it's just so all over the place with that dude. And it's just like, and then Damon's like, he's the audience in that moment when like Ulf's like running through the streets screaming for a cat. He's just like, please kill me now. Like these
yeah.
idiots, like these
Yeah.
absolute idiot lowborn. Oh, I could see
Yeah.
the anger in his like brain. And I'm like, I'm with you, man. Like
Yeah.
that dude
I agree.
sucks.
Yeah, he does suck.
Dragon
And
outside, you inside being stupid.
yeah, why? Why park your dragon? Like, if you're that concerned with your wife, go fly your dragon down and get your wife.
Dude, you should have just like kidnapped your wife in the beginning. I don't know what to tell you. Like now's not the
Yeah,
time. Ship has sailed, dude.
he's a big dude. She's a small dude or a small lady. Just put her over your shoulder. Like, here, we can argue about this outside the gates. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
just
mean?
like the timeline there of events where it's like he sneaks in correctly before battle starts, right?
Yeah.
Sneaks in, finds her. So that argument he has with her just ended with him like walking away, and that was he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be back. I guess there's gonna be a battle. I'll just come back then when you're probably gonna die."
Yeah. And it's chaos. Maybe
It's
you'll
like
listen to me then.
dude, you are so dumb. I had such high hopes for Hugh, and it just he sucks.
I mean, I still do. I still do. I'm curious where he goes from here because I think he's inevitably going to blame Rhaenyra for this situation as a whole.
Well, tricky
So I'm curious.
situation, and I had to have I do so like online. They're like the show does a bad job explaining this, but like at the last scene of the dragons, so it's like Silverwing. Caraxes is chasing Silverwing, and then Varithmore, Hugh's dragon, is then flying in after them. Caraxes, I assume, is riderless because Damon's literally in Tumbleton, like dealing with almost dying. So
Yep.
Caraxes is responding correctly and chasing Silverwing. I don't know what takes that so long to happen, but Varithmore and Silverwing are mates. So Varithmore, Hugh's dragon, was supposedly, starting to chase then Caraxes. So we got kind of like unmounted dragons kind of like defending, fighting each other.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting because that's net down 2 dragons for the blacks right there. Speaking of other like shitty characters that never really like peaked out on an arc is Bela and Adam.
Yeah. Oh,
Those
yeah, for
two are
sure.
just a disaster.
Yeah.
Bitchy, whiny, like what? Like, come on, what's going on? Like, I get Rhaenyra sucks, but like your approach here is just like, boo.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I agree
ultimately
with
don't
you.
even do anything this episode. They have all their complaints and woes. Like he complains to Alan, she complains right to Rhaenyra, and ultimately, what they just hang out in the city while everything else goes on. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally
Hopefully, they have
wasted
some
characters.
more act. Maybe that comes to fruition later, but
I don't
more
know. I'd
just
like to just see
duds.
him in episode 1 just get an arrow to the face like like Jace, episode 1,
Yeah.
season 4, both of them popped. Let's just take them out quick. Yeah, I don't know. It was such a cool idea. It was such a cool idea, Corliss's bastards. And I
Mhm.
like
Adam.
Alan or Adam. No, it's Alan.
Adam is Dragon Rider.
Yes, I like Alan.
Alan is
Alan's arc is
the hand.
good for me. Yeah. But yeah, Adam is just for a guy that has spent his whole life wanting to be noticed, he now
Yeah.
has a dragon and he has not stopped bitching since he's gotten the dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. Like they threw you a pretty big bone. Take it and run with it. Make a name for yourself like your brother is doing properly without a dragon. But no, now he's all high and mighty because he's got a dragon. Needs demanding things.
Yeah, and I mean, and Rhaenyra earned some points there in that conversation with Bela, where she's like, Bela's like, oh, me and Alan are like out here doing all this stuff, and she's like, yeah, yet still everything's going to shit. So what exactly are you doing? It's like
Yep.
having an employee and hiring them to do a job, and they don't really show any
Initiative.
any like value given.
Yeah.
Like, great, you guys have been out doing things, but what exactly has that accomplished? And I
Yep.
was like, good point. Very
Yep.
good point, Rhaenyra. So yeah, I mean, Rhaenyra's leadership style is certainly questionable. She definitely gets her like Hitler on in
Yeah.
this episode, where interesting choice to start kind of rambling on about like the prophecy to a bunch of like peasants. It's like,
Yes.
like,
It's
yeah,
like
you're starting
family
this.
secret. Family
Yeah,
secret.
that's where it was like I was really like, oh yeah, this is like a super Hitler moment because he would
Yeah.
get up there and just ramble about like just some off the wall shit. That you know prophecy and like destiny and things like that, and everyone's just like, huh, okay, maybe. And obviously like roll in, kill the septon. That dude need killed anyways.
Yeah,
Fair
dude.
point.
Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like you say like Adam, I like his arc for sure, but I'm not sure how I feel about like she totally just like leaned in and just whispered to him like, your gods are better than theirs.
Yeah.
That he's
Yeah.
just like assassin mode activated and just like
Yep.
Bayek like just knife the dude. I'm like, whoa. Like he wasn't even considering an alternative there.
Yeah, I think that
Good soldiers follow orders. Like that's what like I was like, whoa, like Alan just turned on like
Yeah.
Terminator mode.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is going to be a critical fail moment for Rhaenyra, though, especially when it comes to the peasantry of the area, because they're all super into the to the seven, right? That's a known thing down in Flea Bottom. So I think that's going to be a big fail. I think she's going to have a revolt style overthrowing of her throne potentially in the future. I could be wrong, but I think that is going to be a big moment for something that happened so quickly and so abruptly. And we really, I mean, you said it, I said it. We both wanted, like, that dude needed to die.
He
like
sucks.
he sucks.
Yeah, he was on the wrong side of the argument there. Where
Yeah,
he's
for
like,
sure.
"My God, say no to you," and it's like, "Nah, wrong answer." That's not going to hold up in this court. But sorry. I mean, especially because they do have a valid point. Like the old Valyria gods, dragons, Targaryens, like they kind of didn't, like they just kind of adopted that religion because that's what was rocking in the Seven Kingdoms. That isn't exactly like a religion. It's the same thing of like any religions here. Like, it's like you can't stand on that all by itself. You're going to need a little bit more than that high septum. You're not, it doesn't matter. So that was interesting. That'll definitely like bite her. What was I going to say? Yeah, I was happy to see that death. That was a good one. But yeah, her speech was really good. I saw people like knocking like the quality of her armor compared to like Game of Thrones like armor sets. I get it, but also the photos they're using are like not from a good TV or something, because you watch like they're fine. They're using like altered like low quality photos of her armor, because her armor is like pretty intricate and really nice, and it's chainmail with some shit on it. Like
it's like I'm going to be flying around on a dragon armor. That's what it is. It's not like plate armor. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
someone was compared to like Joffrey's armor. It's like, well, Joffrey never fought.
Yeah, right.
Literally, like LARPing is what Joffrey does. You can't compare his armor to hers. Like, she was also wearing that because she's trying not to get killed in the streets. Also, like,
yeah. She's going to do something that is probably going to get her killed by the peasants. So it's probably safe to like, I didn't have any problem with her armor. I thought it looks kind of cool, to be honest.
Yeah. Obviously low points with her still handling Helena. Just poor choices all around.
Very poor. Yeah, very poor. Yeah, dude, Helena, man. Again, perks of not reading the books, just did not see this one coming. And even when it was there, I was like, did she escape out the window?
No, that's the window. It's the Tommen window.
The window. And dude, and I think I have like that's like built into my memory, because when Rhaenyra stepped up to it, I was like, oh my gosh, like tell me she's not just about to jump out the window and she just closes it. What a cool way to end the episode too. Like that's just closing.
Like we're just gonna ignore that.
I went through like, did she escape? And then I'm like, no, she didn't escape, because her little.
I thought she used the tapestry to get down.
Hung herself. Well, yeah.
I thought she used it like Rapunzel style to like get out.
Initially, initially that's what I thought. But then when you see like how high up they are, like what's she gonna do? Freaking Nathan Drake all the way down the castle wall, Assassin's Creed style down the wall, not happening. So then I was like, oh, I think she hung herself with the tapestry. But no, it was even worse. She fell to her death. So
now Helena
landed on spikes.
Yeah, and Helena didn't have to be so. She could have like saved her entire arc. Not that she was meant to, but all she had to do when Rhaenyra started pressing her is like, "Lady, chill. Just look at this thing I'm weaving. This is basically what you're looking for. Like, you want my premonitions of the things I see? They're all right here on this beautiful tapestry. Don't kill me. Let me go outside."
Yeah.
I'm not asking for much.
I'm definitely curious, because we did see, she has those dreams, and we see scenes with her in the dreams, which I assumed were going to come to fruition at some point.
I literally thought she escaped by like using the tapestry to like pony down the wall, and then she was going to get on Dreamfire and like escape.
and it was going to be that scene of her blowing
Yes.
yeah, for sure. That's curious to see how that plays out, if that's going to be Rhaenyra maybe up on that dragon. But yeah, I thought it was cool. The cool way they did the death scene too, where they show Alicent and the butterflies kind of flying up, and she notices it. But yeah, poor Helena, man. I feel that first off, they force feed her, which was brutal.
Brutal. Like, that's definitely one of those moments where it like reminds you that Game of Thrones is really just like people doing things and people being people. And I think that's what's so great about it.
Yeah.
Is there sometimes isn't really much meaning in it other than like Rhaenyra is like kind of losing her rocker, and like what happens when people go off their rocker, like they do bad shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is the one thing that the Game of Thrones has always been really good about, is flipping your opinions on certain characters, you know. And you brought up Jaime earlier. That's like the perfect description of it.
Greatest character arc of all time.
Greatest character arc of all time. Dany could have been a greatest character arc of all time if it was fleshed out a little bit better at the end. Even though if you watch it all in a whole, you know, if you binge the entire thing, like it's clear as day that was going to happen.
I was this came up in the past like couple of months. I was talking to someone and they were basically like calling out the last like season of Game of Thrones, just like how bad it was. I was like, have you rewatched the whole thing? They're like, no. I'm like, well, come on now. Like,
yeah. I mean, she said she's going to take her. Yeah, she said she's going to take her.
It's kind of all there. She just goes off to an extreme. That's what Targaryens do.
Yeah. They literally talk about it the entirety of the series about, you know, the gods flipping a coin every time that the Targaryens are born. Yeah. So yeah, it's always been very good at that. I think you know, it's still continuing here with Aegon. I think Aegon sucked pretty much through the whole show. I think he's redeeming a lot here. I would even say Daemon, to an extent, has had a great arc. He was kind of a douche in the beginning and kind of the guy you didn't want to root for, kind of similar to Jaime. I currently love Daemon. Like he's top tier character for me.
He's executing the right version of, like, he's executing the version of Rhaenyra's reign that he sees it as, right? But still within respect to her. Like he didn't want to really, he was going to not make a monster of her at Tumbleton, but Tumbleton kind of made a monster of itself. There's a lot of bad things that happen there out of his control. He did a really, like, the fact that he got off Caraxes after knocking the gate down, like, that's pretty nice of him. Like, he was like, all right, I am getting off the dragon. I am not about to burn the whole place.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this the proper way. I just had to use Caraxes one time
to get through the gate.
Knock the gate down. Because
and he doesn't get off of Caraxes like in a positive position. Like he's like getting shot at, like it's a terrible barricaded position. Yeah.
That's my least favorite part of the whole siege. Yeah. And I was like, well, I would at least cleared
the barricade.
Like, yeah. The crossbowmen, and like I think there was like a ballista in there. Like, come on, dude, like clear that, then ride in on your horse. But I love the siege overall though. Great classic siege. Especially if you ever played any like siege strategy games, it was really good because they do the classic, like the Northmen run and start scaling the walls, but Roddy the Rune and his boys aren't even at that side. They're at a different part of the wall. It's like the whole like sleight of hand situation going on, multiple fronts. It was great.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And they did a really good job showing all that.
So good. And we don't really see a lot of sieges in Game of Thrones. This is like one of the few. But yeah, everything, the rocks, like the rock throwing the rocks over, the boiling oil like thrown over the side. I'm like, dude, this is just so cool. We really, normally our sieges in this universe are like, you know, quick little, you know,
the Unsullied at Castle Rock was really sad. Obviously the White Walkers at Winterfell,
Yeah.
not really the same type of siege. Um, Battle of the Bastards, they rode out. Like we really kind of got the biggest siege was the wall when the Northmen attacked.
Yes.
That was kind of like our biggest siege moment
Yep.
in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we get there's another one. Oh, Blackwater is kind of a siege, I guess.
Kinda.
Um that's the intention, at least. You get a little bit of siege stuff in there, but nothing like this. Yeah, it was awesome, dude.
The cool thing about Tumbleton too is Tumbleton itself basically exists as a set, like the walls and a lot of the inner workings, not to the scale, but like
Yeah.
enough. And then like the hill that it sits upon is also real. So it's just cool because there's a line somewhere in there where it's like goes from backlot to real life location. So like they filmed all the outer like besieging forces actually in real life out on a field, and
Oh,
then
that's cool.
there's a line there where they piece it all together, and then like they're actually on the walls and stuff. So very cool to like kind of envision how that all gets pieced together and makes it look so good.
Dude, it's cool. And this is totally on a side tangent, but similar. I watched a video of Matt Damon talking about Interstellar, and one of the fight scenes. So I can't remember what it was. If it was like too cold, or they pulled him off because of the weather off of a glacier that they were filming at on the rocky planet where they rescue Matt Damon, if you remember Interstellar.
Yeah.
So the part where they're fighting and rolling around on the ground was actually shot at the hotel parking lot because Christopher Nolan was like, this sucks. Like I want to record. So it actually made it into the film.
Wow.
So them rolling around was just filmed in the parking lot at the hotel that they were staying at. I was like, dude, that's
Gotta make it happen.
Christopher Nolan, man. That's so cool.
Gotta make it happen.
Yeah,
that's great. Oh man, Siege was good. I had another complaint about somebody. Oh, on the rewatch, completely just skipped. I had to crush some time because I wouldn't have enough time before this to. Yeah. So I just skipped all the Massaria parts. I was like, stupid.
Yeah.
Trash. Yeah, so apparently, like, she just, like, casted her away because she's just the conflicting part of her being that is not Daemon. And she's like, oh, you're my, like, little people voice. But at the same time, like, Massaria really didn't do much end to end in this season. Like, she just kind of advocated for the simple poor folk.
Right.
Is really all she really did. But even then, like, she tried to, like, aggregate that power and be that conduit, and then the representative she was basically having represent like those people was just like, nah, bitch, like you're not it. And so I'm like, well, what is really the point of you, Massaria, other than like dragging and confusing Rhaenyra like all season?
Yeah. I mean, she had some decent ideas through the season, like getting the Master of Coin so that the people can blame the Master of Coin for the missing money, stuff like that. But also, she advocates for herself a little too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus Daemon, like, you know, I'm the one you want to listen to, not your husband, or you know. So it's like, what? Yeah, she just had to go. I think she's probably going to be a problem now that she's out and flipping sides, probably. But yeah, it's just a kind of a wasted arc, I think.
Yeah, and the promise of like, because the like handmaiden was like, you know, you'll be well compensated and paid all your stuff will be. I'm like, with what money?
Actually? Yeah, right.
Like, you find the money.
Think she knows that. I think she knows that. That's why she dipped.
Right.
Yeah,
and she ain't leaving. Yeah, like she's not leaving. She's just gonna blend back in with the people. So yeah, I guess that's more foreshadowing for her next season causing problems, but yeah, just kind of a waste there.
Yeah, just kind of a crappy character, if I'm being honest with you.
That's like, mostly like the purpose of the character makes sense, but like the character itself is just not great.
Not executed great. Yeah,
it got a little better and then just kind of went back down.
Yeah, I mean, she also was one of the few people that had some like questionable acting in the beginning as well. You know, we talked about her accent and stuff, so she just kind of stuck out like a sore thumb through the first season. And and then she kind of figured out that stuff, but their storyline just goes nowhere, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe she's gonna be the Arya of this, she's gonna come in, stab Rhaenyra. Who knows? But
Please no.
I hope not. I hope they don't make that mistake again. But yeah, I don't know. I could do without her if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just skip those parts if you ever rewatch it. It worked
Yeah,
for me. I
I
was like,
would like
okay, yep, got it. Orban's death specifically was great, I think, because it reminded me too of like Night of the Seven Kingdoms and more of the comical elements of
yeah,
Game of Thrones.
yeah,
Because obviously like Roddy like sprays him with his like
yeah, dude,
cut
so
off
good.
arm.
Yeah,
Then he like gets sick. He's like,
yep, yeah,
it's like
that's so funny, dude.
it's
That
good.
and him getting off of the urinal where he gets sick too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so good, dude.
Yeah, we get a little dong action there from Ulf sitting on the John.
Yeah,
Get him out of there.
yeah.
Uh,
I
Dude
think
must got
that
that's the speech of him to like the bakers or whatever, the cooks, like hilarious.
yeah,
And on the second watch, it made more sense because I was paying more attention to like what he was saying, and like it was a lot of like Damon bashing and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. But I agree with you. The Omen getting sprayed with the blood in the middle, because there's like no comedy going on anywhere. Like
Yeah,
it's a siege, like it's a full
yeah,
on brawl in this castle, and then he gets sprayed with the blood. He's like,
yeah.
it's so funny, bro.
It's just such a
So
good
funny.
character.
Such a good character. Yeah, I mean, I love his arc. I think his arc was great. I think it did land well having him die here. But I will miss him because he was a very entertaining character that they brought in.
Yeah,
But I
but I
would
mean, now I
go ahead.
mean, but with Aegon being back and like after Aegon's speech, because he made a very good point. He's like, first off, we're gonna go to Tumbleton and we're gonna put that Ormond in his place along with
Yep.
Darian, like whoever they think they are. Like, no thanks. So like again, like Aegon just really coming into his own and like of all the shenanigans of people playing this game, it's still really just Aegon or Rhaenyra. So it's like the rest of you really need to kind of like sit down. Um, and it's just not, you just have no play here. And Ormond, you're kind of an upstart. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Overall, like you're just kind of like a high tower upstart, who ultimately has some weaknesses, and you can see it in his performance too, where where things aren't going his way. Ulf's missing. Um, oh, and then he's like, Darren like sent out Gwaine to parlay for peace. Like he's just like,
Yep.
what? He's like, all my little pieces are just not cooperating with me. Like, yes, Ormond, like it takes more than your schmoozing to like
Right.
make this whole thing tick. Like the memes for the past week, there was some going around of like basically anything someone like Ormond would tell you, like basically just telling you anything you want to hear to
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
you to do something, and he's over here promising Ulf like castles and stuff. Just
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
my
That he
dragon
can't
rider.
even give him. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I just like his character. I am curious. I mean, do you assume Darren escaped on his dragon? Is that the assumption? Because we don't really even see, right? It's just kind of up in that they're looking for him. They never find him,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He's MIA because Ormond's second hand finds him burnt in the rubble. Gawaine's there, but yeah, Darren's missing. Um, Also, Darren's lines, the way he delivers them, and also the way they're written, reminded me of Anakin in the prequel trilogy, Anakin
Yeah,
Skywalker. And
yeah,
then Gawain really, once I like that clicked, I'm like, and then Gawain's all of a sudden like Obi-Wan, because Gawain has
yeah,
like more of like a very like tense, like we got to do this. Like he has like more of the clairvoyance of like this is not a good situation. And then here's Darren just kind of like, we must do this, like very
Yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
robotic. And then Gawain just has this much more realistic and grounded performance, and I was like, it's basically like Anakin and Obi-Wan here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Gawain, I still like.
Yeah,
I still like Gawain. He's a good one.
yeah, so do I. Yeah, I'm curious where Darren's going after this. If he rejoins his brothers or if he continues this kind of third party that we have going on here. I can't imagine that's going to be the
That's not.
case after this battle.
Yeah, he's got to go find his
Um,
bros. I
yeah.
did see a lot of complaints where his was a big change from the books. He had done a lot more in the books to like get to the point where he was, like actually action and stuff, and like he was knighted
Oh,
under
okay.
more better circumstances, something like that.
Yeah.
See, I guess saw people though saying like Darren's entire plot was just basically like scrapped, and he just kind of was this. Maybe they made Ormond up. I don't know. And Ormond took more of that role. Not
Yeah,
sure
mate.
who that
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I don't know. It does seem like yeah, Ormond was good because it was like he's just a great character. You know what I mean? Like everything
Yeah.
about him is great. I think his storyline was really good. It just seems like most of Darren's stuff has happened off screen and we don't know exactly what happened off screen. You know what I mean? And even
Or
here,
yet.
where it's like his escape is even off screen.
That's true. And maybe they're pushing more of those events. Like they're reordering things for sure. So maybe because a lot more should have happened before Tumbleton here.
Yeah.
With a lot of different characters and things. So maybe they're pushing more of Darren's because Darren really was just introduced halfway through this season. Because for all we knew, he was captured at the beginning of this season. So they really just introduced him. So they're probably going to push more, especially with him missing now. They're going to push more of that into season 4, and we'll probably see more of
Or
that stuff.
or this is the partly due to the budget cuts that we were talking
Yeah.
about. What are they going to cut out? This might be
Hmm.
what they cut out of the
Yeah.
budget cuts, to land at this 8 episodes for season 3, which I guess we'll see if it pays off. I don't know how important Darren is. I don't know how important he is. I don't even
He's
know
got a tiny
who ends up
dragon.
king at the end of this. So
Someone must end up ruling because the
they
Targaryens,
have to
they
continue.
continue on. We know that
Yeah.
much because we watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yep.
Aegon reflections of like the Mad King a tad, right? A little
Yeah.
bit burned, a little bit crazy.
Mhm.
Like he has more of the like crazy like tingle when he's like, I'm alive, and like different throughout the entire series. Like he kind of has more even his speech when he's burning the mutants,
Yeah.
like he
Yep.
gets like a little crazy. And then I was gonna say this earlier when we were talking about Rhaenyra, still kind of like the Danny arc where it's like she's trying to fulfill this like Viserys the peaceful vision of her rule, but ultimately at the end, like push comes to shove, like I have dragons. Um,
Yeah.
and if
It's
you
hard to
guys aren't
do
gonna,
that when you're in the middle of a war. you know?
yeah, for sure.
Like
Like
I
they're in
don't
the
even
middle of
think
war.
Viserys could have done that.
I mean, both of them. I mean that was both Danny and Rhaenyra's problems. Like they're trying
Yeah.
to do this
Yeah.
in the middle of a war. Like you can't.
Yep.
So at some point, I don't know, like they hold on so long. Both those characters have held on so long to that notion in just entirely the wrong environment to like foster any of that. So to me it makes sense that they ultimately are just like, well, okay, we tried. Um Dragons burn,
Yep.
So it's just
yeah.
like it makes sense to me. So I honestly I get why Rhaenyra did what she did. And that's why I can't really complain about Daenerys's arc either, because she tried for many seasons. Um, but that always just looms for those poor
Yep.
Targaryens.
Yep.
Just doesn't work
Dude,
out like
I'm
that.
you know how much of a sucker I am for Robert's Rebellion.
Yeah.
And how much I desperately want a Robert's Rebellion show. They made a play. I don't know. Did you
Right.
catch any screenshots of
No,
it?
not none of
Oh, you
it.
should
It's
go
already
check out the
out?
screenshots.
We should go
Yeah, I
see
guess
it.
they've already done. Yeah, I don't know if it's here yet. But I would love to go. Yeah, definitely want to go see it.
Hopefully, it's
It
in the
looks really
style
good.
of, like, the Game of Thrones plays, like in Game of Thrones, where they did the
No, I
play.
don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it is. But I didn't see any acting in it. Just screenshots of
Right.
it. The Mad King with his like super long fingernails and stuff. Um, I think I saw maybe Robert and Rhaegar fighting a screenshot of that. So
Mm.
I'm not just like, I'll take anything I can get since I'm not going to get a freaking, live action.
Nope.
At least give me an animated series or something, something.
Nope. And still, speaking of Vagar, still no idea what happened to Vagar.
Nope.
Alice Rivers is either keeping that really under wrap and like some witchcraft, or Vagar literally just flew away. Um, crazy,
Yeah, I gotta be
crazy.
honest. I was a little bummed that we did not get at least a little bit of insight of where Vagar is, because he's just like, we're gonna go find him. I'm like, oh,
Right.
all right, where is he? Do we have a general direction he flew? Like, we're just gonna go find him. It's a big world, you know?
Big world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the two times like Aegon shows up and he's like, "Hey, by the way, do you know what's going on out there?" No, apparently not. Here's what's going on. News to them. Same thing that happened with Damon and Gwaine and Corlys,
Yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
they're they're extrapolating these elaborate, like, oh, Darren can rule, like really bad, stupid plans to say to Damon. Like Damon the whole time is like, I want to burn high towers. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is what I
Yes.
signed up for. But also, it's cute you guys think this is gonna work, but you guys aren't even all the way up to speed. This isn't even gonna work because what are you guys gonna do about Aegon? And they're like, huh.
Yeah.
Oh, news
They're
to
like,
you.
oh, didn't
Sorry.
know that. Yeah.
But take them away.
Did
Like,
Yeah.
chokes him
Yeah,
out, and
that
he's
was funny.
like, the next person that delays this siege is gonna be like strapped to the front of my horse.
Yeah.
So good.
Did you, when Aegon came swooping in to Harrenhal, did you for a half a second think that it was Vhagar coming back?
No, I
For
knew
half a
I knew that
second,
was
you just get
Aegon.
like some flapping wings in the
I knew
distance, and I
that's
was like,
what
Is that Vhagar?"
I knew that's what Aemon thought, but I knew it was Aegon coming back
Yeah. I thought it was Vhagar.
to deal with his
That it was
shithead
a
brother.
hopeful wish for it to be
Yeah,
Vhagar.
yeah, he was coming to deal with his shithead brother.
Yeah.
Such a good scene, and also just that scene is so nice in the burned out hall.
Oh, so cool.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very also like video game, um, like cutscene. Like it just
Yeah.
that scene is just excellent on all fronts. Um, love it. And another high point was when Damon uh, and the butcher and whoever else, when they're riding up, and someone mentioned Cole, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I almost." And
Oh,
Damon's
yeah.
just like
Yes.
basically like, "Yeah, it's so easy to forget about him. How did he die?" Roddy's like, "Horribly." He's like,
Horribly love
It's
it, dude.
just so
So
good.
good.
It's
Yeah,
so easy
it
to
was
forget about
hilarious.
him. How did he die? Ah, yes,
Yeah.
so good.
So
I
funny,
like
dude.
that Cole made a verbal cameo in this episode for Damon, just kind of remembering his lost buddy.
Yeah. So, well, we have a comment here. Let's slap this comment up here.
Oh, whoa.
Big time 1988. Big up the lads. I thought this one was a bit silly, but had enjoyable moments. Disappointed with this season overall. Interesting. I don't know what this is.
Do you know about the butterfly sneak diss at George at the end? No.
I do not. Fill us in, though. Don't give us any spoilers for the book, though, if you're talking about
No,
book
but do tell
spoilers. I
us
don't
if
think
we're
it is, but do tell
talking
us.
crap on George.
Yeah.
Especially with the butterflies, because that was like Allison's one scene this whole episode, actually, because we last saw her running away from Harrenhal, and then she just gets a scene at the end when Helena dies.
Yeah, I have actually heard that people were disappointed with the season, and I just don't know. I don't understand, man. I thought the season was great. This season rivals season 1. It's neck and neck for me personally. I thought there was a lot of great stuff.
But I definitely get the sense, though, there was probably more meat on the bone.
Yeah.
And to your earlier sentiments is like, I think the budget cuts are a concern and have caused issues, especially when they started off at 10 episodes a season, and how comprehensive season 1 was, or episode 1, or sorry, yeah, season 1 was. And then all of a sudden, like, we got season 2, and then now season 3. I do feel like it is hyper compressed, especially just the little bits where people talk about how much is kind of left out. That's probably where a lot of the lacklusterness of the season comes from, because it's not really any critiques on the show itself. It's just like the character arcs and the events are just like missing, and that's what people, I think, really have an issue with. Let's see here. He wrote a blog post called The Butterfly Effect, where he said some choices the writers made will have huge effects later on, and then they ignored him and he disowned the project. So it's not a coincidence the season ended with loads of butterflies that weren't in the book. I get it. He was also referring specifically to Helena's suicide in the blog. It is 100% intentional.
Interesting. It's interesting that is what he's talking about, because I believe that's how Helena dies in the book. Now, maybe it's earlier than she dies in the book, but I'm pretty confident that she jumps out of the tower and falls to her death on spikes in the book. But he does seem like he is just incredibly difficult to work with. and that sucks, because it seems like everybody that works with George has some sort of ill effect. But at the same time, it is his baby. He wrote this entire thing. I get it. He wants to take care of it, but they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job, George. Just let them do it. You get into your freaking little dungeon and finish the books. That's your job. Quit worrying about the shows. They got it.
Well, he's also not George Lucas. Like, George Lucas kept ownership of so much and literally owned Star Wars and all the components that make Star Wars. So, like, that's how he had like that full creative control over his IP. George doesn't have that, because he gave it to HBO. Like, they have it.
Yeah.
So, like, it would be different if George was probably 30 years younger, way more like business oriented, like different George, right? Like, George, like, he really kind of just needs to focus on like the writing. And I don't know if he wrote enough. Maybe the Game of Thrones thing probably still like burns in people's minds. Like, if he would have finished the books, that probably would have shaped out differently. But like you said, those creators wanted to go off and do a Star Wars project they never ended up doing. And HBO probably didn't want to say, we'll wait to release season 7 when George finishes the book.
Right.
And then
right.
No, like, we're trying to wrap like one of the biggest shows ever made. So there's a lot of conflicting pieces to this puzzle that like George doesn't fit well into.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm scared. Bath time. It won't spoil the show. I'm scared. Tell us. It's fine.
Yeah,
I've seen worse on the internet. We'll forget about it by next season.
In
2 years from now.
2 years down the road, we're gonna forget.
Just happy you're here, Bath
We
time.
just now got the names down. Like the second half of the companion series, we finally got our names back down from
I took it more seriously in season 1 and season 2 because there
There's
was
just so
so much
much going on.
influx of
Yeah,
characters, like, you just had
yeah.
to for the sanity of it, but at this point, we're really just waiting for people's, like, names for us to not have to remember because they're all dying. Um, so that's the benefit we have now. We don't have to remember their names because they might end up dying really quick, and that's the fun of it.
That is the fun of it, yeah. I mean, they're gonna have to
Yeah.
if there's any new ones coming.
But still, I do agree that I feel it's compressed. That's all. So I get that complaint. Bath Time says it's about the motivations behind Helena's death. They cut her third child from the show, and he was the one she chose to survive, but he gets killed in a wicked battle in grief. Right. So is it Mailer, I think, is
Yes. Yeah,
the
yeah.
unborn son that she has. She's supposed to have this child, and this child was actually supposed to be like in it. But again, I think they're definitely rearranging things, cutting things. And that's where I think season 1 and season 2, like, they were really like we had to remember all the names because there was just so much. And I feel like they're really just kind of like Game of Thrones, unfortunately. Like, we're really just kind of closing the
Diluting
open
it, yeah.
threads
Yep.
and compressing what could be entirely.
Yeah.
Um, which
Which
is
which
unfortunate.
is it is unfortunate because I do believe they've created a lot for the show as well. So you would think they'd just leave out the creation part of it and tell us the stuff that's actually in the book.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Because in the show, why does she off herself? It's not actually that understandable. Yeah, in the show, yeah, the best thing we have is like just her imprisonment
Yeah,
by
that's how I took it, yeah.
Rhaenyra, right? The hopelessness of her child. Obviously, I think she hates her mother at this point because she started dissing on her mom. In there, she's like, "For me or for like you, mom, you're horrible." So I think it was just like a lot of those things, but yeah, definitely that's where it diverged from the books because at this point she has no children. Are they all dead?
Yeah, I mean, I that's how I took it. I just took it as she is she saw this vision of her having this baby and the baby getting taken away from her by the guards. So yeah, that's how I took it. But it is obviously deeper in the book. But what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah. Personally, from bath time, I feel they miss an easy win saying her death paid for Sunfire coming back to life. Bizarre not to frame it like that. Oh, as like her death
Yeah,
caused Sunfire to come back to life?
like a little Danny situation with
Like a rebirth.
yeah, like a rebirth type situation. Yeah.
Yeah, they completely did not frame it like that at
Not at
all.
all. Yeah.
Sunfire just kind of wakes up from a nap.
Yep.
Hears Aegon's voice from a distance and lurks on over. Yeah, death pays for life. Yeah, that would have been just fine because they're
Yeah.
relatively close. So yeah, I mean that would be what this suffers the most from is like they are compressing it. If they would have left it at 10 episodes a season and not had budget cuts, I
Maybe
think
we would have
we
got
would
that.
have a much different
Yep.
pair of seasons here to build off of the first. And that'll probably be obvious if you were to rewatch all of them at this point, because
Yeah.
I remember season 1 being far more comprehensive about
Oh
every
yeah.
little thing,
Yeah. For
story
sure.
wise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's the downside of like I said, boardroom executives making decisions on budgets of shows when showrunners already have a plan in motion, you know?
Yeah. Bath Time says, I do rate as well. They completely ignore the D&D Game of Thrones and about how Targaryens are fireproof and don't bother explaining it. Um, I do see this come up. In my only like personal explanation for like why Aegon gets burned and stuff is like dragon fire is different than regular fire is the only thing I can guess. Danny sat through normal fire, whereas like Aegon got blasted by dragon fire. I don't know if that's lore or not, but that's how I excuse people like Targaryens getting burned.
Yeah,
in
but
my
it's
mind.
also it's also clearly not a across the board thing because her brother gets burned by the gold,
Oh
right?
yeah, he does suck.
Jon Snow gets
Well,
burnt by grabbing so it might be a bloodline thing. Like they're not pure blood Targaryens. Um,
yeah.
if
Well,
I
I
had
mean,
to
the gold
explain
thing
it
is a
away.
little different too. Like that's literally metal, just like latching itself to your face.
Yeah, but I
That's
mean, you're not supposed to get burnt. You're not supposed to get burnt. Jon Snow gets burnt grabbing a torch, I think, in season 1 or season 2, maybe.
well, like Batman said, if it was made up in the show beyond the funeral pyre stuff, which was a miracle, basically. Yeah, so if the show's made it up that like Targaryens are somehow fireproof, then yeah, it's just kind of
Yeah,
a misdirection
right.
of lore. That's how I would think about it. At least for Aegon, like dragon fire is different than regular fire.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll make that lore up for George and his shows. Not his shows. He disowned them.
He disowned him. Yep.
Well, we have 2 years before the next one comes out,
Yeah. How
unfortunately.
much you want to bet we're going to be sitting here, episode 1 of the next show, talking about how George has still not released the Winds of Winter 2 years later?
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed. I mean, there's no chance he does anything. I don't know. I just don't.
He
Again, I
said
mean,
that he's dealing. There was I just read an article about him that he's dealing with like some depression and anxiety and lack of motivation or something. It's like, yeah, it's clear. You've been writing this book for 10 years. It's very clear that that's the case.
yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I don't know what it would do. Like, would people want to read it? Like, obviously, but would it be better? Would people not like it? Would people like it just for the fact that it's the book? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, it would just be a complete. It'd be fine. He could, if all power to him, he needs to finish it. But my
Yeah,
worry,
especially when
though,
there's another book coming. Like this isn't even the last one.
right? But I think we talked about this earlier this season. Is the worry is that he actually like is changing the direction of it based
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
feedback
Hmm.
on the show. So like at that point, it's already tainted. Like the
Yeah.
purity of his story, he's already letting everyone else just kind of influence it. And at this point, like, is that even really the book that everyone should have got in the first place? I don't
Right.
know. It's just no point at this stage. Like the Game of Thrones story is just kind of written and just needs to exist as it is, unfinished and kind of finished by the shows. And
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I hope that's not the case. I hope that he didn't make any changes based off the show because the books are rather different from the show, from what I hear. And there's a lot of characters in the books that never appear on the show.
true,
So and you also have a book, actually 2 books to flesh out that ending. Like we said, I don't think either of us have a problem with the way that Game of Thrones ended.
no, I don't.
I think it was clear as day that everything that happened was coming. My only hang up is the White Walkers, which I don't even think are that big of a part of the books, to be
I mean,
honest.
that's the biggest thing to look past is that was just a big nothing burger. Maybe
Yeah.
not nothing burger, but Arya kind of just fixed it really quick.
Yeah, it was just a crappy way to pay off her arc.
Her
You know?
arc and like their arc, all of that. Rhaenyra's here talking about like the end of times, and basically it's like, yeah, no big deal, really. She wouldn't have handled it properly, anyways.
Yeah.
200 years before it actually happened. So I don't know. I mean, probably one day what's going to happen is books or not, he finishes the books or not, they're going to unfortunately probably make a new series. That's like 100% true to the books. Who knows what they'll come up with.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Bath time. The sad truth is an AI model will end up finishing it. And I think one did, and he sued the nuts off anyone that tried to spread it around. I did not know that. I mean, that's easy for someone to do, is basically take everything it knows and then finish it for George. George should just do that himself.
He really should. Yeah, I
It
hate to
just as
say
a
it.
tool to help him write. Like if
Yes.
that's like he just needs something to fill in the gaps in his creative capacity. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
And I think the books will end up very similar place to the show, but hopefully far more satisfying. Arya isn't killing the Night King though, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't even think the Night King is a character in the book. I think it's like a totally different, like there's
Oh, really?
a Knight's King that is like was a White Walker that came back. It's totally different. I don't think there is a Night King. I think that was entirely made up for the show, which sucks because like he's my favorite character of the entire show probably.
I mean, I do like that sentiment where it's like if the books are very similar to the show, at least maybe they'll be better and more fleshed out. Yeah, here you go. He's not. That's a
Yeah.
legend about the Night's King that married a Stark.
Married a
etc.
Stark. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Dang.
Which sucks because I love that character and I would love for a book to flesh that character out a little bit more.
Not from George.
Not from George. And they were, I think HBO was going to do a prequel for the White Walkers that got canned after a pilot episode was not well received. But
can't win them all.
Yep. All right, man. I think that's pretty much wraps it, huh?
Yeah. No, that was a good episode, good finale, and I'm glad we got a finale because the worry was we weren't going to. So I'm glad the whole Ormond thing just wrapped. It all came to a head there, and he's just like a nice flash in the pan in all this silly little upstart. But yeah, and with that, we're at the end of season 3 for House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I think we can expect to have Night of the Seven Kingdoms potentially
in between,
season 2 before we get season 4 of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, for sure. I hope that's the case. Yeah, that would be a good release schedule, so we at least have something every year.
Well, in this case, we had both of them this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, we did have them both this year, which maybe lines up that it won't be next year that we get a Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, right there. Give me the real OGs. Duncan Egg early next year. So good. So good. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Bath Time. Thank you for all your comments and your backup lore from the books and stuff and what's right and not right. But yeah, that's us. That's House of the Dragon season 3. I don't know. I might have to. I think I'm gonna have to rewatch this series before season 4.
Season 4, it's probably a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because.
And I just want to see how it plays out. Yeah. Watch it, like binge watching it, because I think it will make season 2 a little less offensive. If you're going right into season 3 immediately.
Yeah, and I think it'll give us as like kind of generally stands of this stuff like enough oomph to be either definitively season 4 was good or net bad for the series. Because the more I think about it, season 1 might be really good.
It's got that palace intrigue only really going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just clean.
No war.
It's just clean.
Yeah,
it's clean.
Yep,
clean and good. And I'm actually be interested to see the dragons in season 1 because dragons were a problem in season 1.
They were, yeah.
Whereas like now the dragons are like near flawless,
phenomenal. Yeah.
Alicent's little like forest camp scene was like very Wizard of Ozzy to me. Like there was something off about that entire scene. Like it looked very fake. It looked like it was done in the surround.
Yes.
Something weird about it going on.
Yep.
Artificial. Like a play, like a stage. That was weird. That was the weirdest part of this season for me was like that scene right there. I'm like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
The color's off, the lighting's off.
You're 100% right. It was in that 3D stage thing. I bet
it must have.
Yeah, because that's what it looked. That's what the scenes in season 1 looked like.
Okay, we're gonna end it with right this Bath Times hot take. My hot take is leave the dreams to the books. Doesn't work on screen well for me.
I would agree. I think that yeah, that is what it feels her scene feels like. It feels like the dream sequences. And
Mm.
they just don't look right in this show. Any of the dream sequences that we've gotten,
Oh,
you know what I
that's
mean?
right. That is what Helena's dream
Yeah.
sequence looks like.
Yep. Like a almost like uncanny valley vibe going on,
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly what it looks like, but
Yep.
worse. Because Helena's like courtyard of the Red Keep was even a little bit better, and that was weird. I liked seeing that, like her, like see that happened in front of her. But then ultimately Masaria shows up and it just kind of was like bleh.
Yep.
I thought she was about to book it for the dragon pit and like
Yeah.
do the thing. But no. Anyway, again, thank you for tuning in. This is our coverage of season 3 of House of the Dragon. We'll be back in 2 years, but we'll be back before that for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, especially if they keep that on a yearly schedule.
Yeah.
So until then, peace out and rewatch Game of Thrones. It's like the
Yeah.
15-year anniversary or something like that.
Yeah, I plan we're doing if Mike ever gets a house to live in, we're gonna do Final Fantasy Tactics, and that will go
Ooh,
perfectly with a rewatch of Game of Thrones, which I'm due
ooh,
for.
gotta pack it all in.
Yeah, man.
All right. Later, friends.